Tarot Bays. Okay, so welcome to. I just like literally had a clear voice, and I literally just ate like a Fig Newton because self sabotage. Yeah. So listen to me chew that cookie, and then we're doing a July tarot forecast. So the tarot forecast is a new thing that I'm offering. It's still basically the tarot scope. It's just a different name, and because that's what it is. It's like a forecast. Like so, if you get the tarot forecast, or if I'm doing a reading for you and I do a tarot scope, it's pretty much the same thing where it can forecast. I also have a fan going. I'm like addicted to it right now, like the noise and the slight chill in the air. Because it's a tarot forecast because it's forecasting all of the ways that you're going to be feeling and the different elements that you'll probably be experiencing this month. So if you get your own personalized July or August tarot forecast, it'll tell you about like your self-esteem because it changes. One day you might feel like a rock star, and the next day you might feel like the opposite. And tell you about your self-esteem, your money, your feelings, your work life, your health, your relationships, um, secrets, ways to help, ways that you're getting in your own way. Like I said, self-sabotage. And like I'm always apologizing in all my videos. I don't know about how I feel about showing my face. I don't know how I feel about showing my cards. But welcome to the download. Welcome to the forecast. Let's get started. Oh, and it's also a forecast because the tarot scope will tell you how you'll be doing throughout the rest of the year too. So if I'm doing an August or July tarot scope and I see a certain energy, I'll tell you about it. But then also I can tell you that you'll most likely be experiencing this energy more directly or fully by whatever position that card is in. So if it's in like a Scorpio, if I see like the Magician and your 8th house, I'm like, okay, well, by the time the sun is in Scorpio, or by the time November rolls around, you'll be practicing magic or feeling more magical or more aligned with manifestation. Okay, coolio. So let's start this. Oh yeah, and I was saying I'd rather have the cards pulled out in my mind. It's like a cooking show, and I'd rather already have like the cards prepared and pulled out, and to take a picture of them and upload them and whatever. But I always lose the message by the time I do that. So, I think it's better when it's a little bit more organic. And here we are, and I'm pulling the cards right now. Because I watch tarot videos and stuff, and I'm like, I hate watching tarot videos where I'm like watching them shuffle their cards. Like I don't want to see that, But so I'm gonna turn this fan off because I'm sufficiently cold now. But just like in tarot, just like in mediumship, it's like a conversation with a person that can't really be rushed, So I lost my train of thought. Okay. Which happens a lot too. Like, I'm not perfect by any means. In my grandfather's Bible, it did say that God will choose the person least qualified to deliver his message. So, that's my qualifications. I wish I could go to like a job interview and be like, well, in the Bible, it says that God will choose the person who's the least qualified to deliver his message. So, I think that you should be very much like Yahweh and choose the person who's least qualified for this position, being me, and hire me. So, I don't think that's how it works. Okay. So, July tarot forecast. This is the energies that are going on for the month of July that I'm seeing. I see that we are walking away from injustice, or so it's like walking away from the justice system. Meaning that the court system is like fraudulent or fake, that the police, I don't know where you live, but at least where I live, only really operate like if you have money. So like there's no need to call them because they won't do anything unless you are giving them a bribe of some sort. And you might be thinking like, no way, But it's like, yeah, way, like even if you have a shop or like a juice bar or a coffee shop and it's like getting robbed or something, it's like the police really won't help you out unless you like give them free coffee and donuts because they'll be hanging out there, sort of thing. So kind of like learning that the justice system is kind of like, okay. And then in your first house, so it's like the house of self-esteem, what you look like, what spirits are around you. Um, you know how RuPaul says, "How's your head?" This is the house about your head, and this is saying that you're very like close to a Virgo. You might be acting like a Virgo. There could be a Virgo spirit lingering around you. Um, there is most likely some type of Virgo that's on their way to you. All those types of things. But this, so what's going on in July is that there's a lot of focus around this Virgo that's related to your father and your father's side of the family. I see that whoever's listening to this video probably has been practicing positive affirmations and like experimenting with aromatherapy. I don't know, my voice is like cracking. My voice has never cracked like this before. Uh, Aromatherapy, and they talk very quickly. So your finances, so okay, like the month of July, there's a lot of attention around this Virgo, uh, who might do something to boost your self-esteem. They might give you a compliment or pay you. They might owe you money. I see that your finances, so your finances, your resources, like I always see the second house is like if you're a turnip farmer, it's the inventory of turnips that you have. If whatever, you know. So your stock, your inventory, how to bolster that, how to increase that, how to fortify that is the Six of Swords, meaning positive affirmation and aromatherapy. So it's like, you know, if you have a business that you need help getting off the ground, and it's like you did the direct messaging campaign, you know, you have a bus ad, you have all different types of things, whatever it is. You're on social media, blah, blah, blah. You're doing all the things. And, you know, you've done an email blast, everything you're supposed to do, they teach you in marketing school, and things still aren't moving forward, all you can really do is like pray and hope, right? And I know that people think that hope is a desperate act, but it's like the only act that matters, because if you hope for good things and you wish for good things, they'll manifest. I'm pretty sure anybody that has ever manifested in hubris or in like not hubris, but like ironically or disingenuously or insincerely, like they notice that those manifestations probably happen a lot quicker than the ones they set with intention that are positive for their life. Alrighty, okay, so then, so the third house, I always see it's like your relationship to your siblings. It's a relationship to your siblings, your cousins, your peers, your coworkers, your classmates, all of those kinds of people. I know. I want to grab this other part to my microphone really bad. Okay. Anyway, and I see that you've been like not so whenever it comes to like your business and the term spam, uh I am like, so some spam is bad, you know, like I got an email from Uber Eats and they were like, "We love you and we miss you." And I was like, "You don't love me, Valentina. How dare you?" Like honestly, how dare you? Um and but you know they might, because I actually did get a free email for like some like actual free food. Like it wasn't just some like ploy to get me onto the app and then spend $50 to get 20% off. It was legitimately like I was able to get like a burrito and stuff from Chipotle. So it was good. Like it was like a burrito and stuff from Chipotle. Maybe I had to pay like $3, maybe $8. I forget, like plus tip, whatever. So that's good spam. I always call that like I forget what it's called, so I actually don't always call it this. But you know when they wrap masubi, when they wrap the spam in like furikake and nori and seaweed and fry it up a little bit, which I've wanted to try so bad, but I'm so horrified of what, like I feel like I know what spam is going to taste like, and I feel like it tastes like pork oysters or something. and I just don't want to try it at all. But so basically, if I send you spam, it's Masubi, and I guess maybe Uber Eats too. Um, but the Eight of Wands, because I do have a background in marketing and I've used tarot as strategies for my clients, this would be a strategy of like direct message marketing, email blast, mailing list, all those types of things. Moving very quickly, hopping on a plane, riding a motorcycle. This is also the elements that revolve around Gemini. So if you're like in direct connection to a Gemini or talking to a Gemini, this is what they're up to. You know, they could be like very business minded right now and not really up for talking with mindless chatter as they usually are because they are mindless and chatterboxes. Cool. I feel so like, especially these like shitty videos. I feel so weird like throwing shade at the signs, but that's kind of my thing. So I'm just gonna keep doing it. And oh my god, I have to do a story time. It's like so many things happen to me that I just like I forget or I get over it. But there's actually so many things that need to be talked about. Um, which I feel like this Eight of Wands energy in the third house talks about that as well, where it's like just get the stuff off of your chest. And people would always try to like I'm a Pisces, so people always try to like trauma dump on me, and a lot of the things that they experience are very traumatic, but it's like I don't like I'm mean. I don't know what telling me is gonna do for you. Like I was like, you want a reading, you want a candle, you want affirmations, because I'm like a total bitch. And I've been doing like all these readings on well, I act like a bitch. Like I have a Mars and Aquarius, and Aquarius is like it's the King of Swords, but it can also be the Queen of Swords, and it's somebody who's like very stern, very short. You know what I mean? So I'm like very short with people. It's just because I like to move fast. I'm like in this impossible rush for no reason. And okay, cool. Oh, I always tell so when people trauma dump on me, I'm like, save it for your blog. Like, why are you telling me? And it sounds rude and mean and bitchy, but I'm like, no, seriously. Like, you need money. You have all this trauma. Your trauma is literally the only resource you have. Put it in a blog. You know what I mean? And I know like a lot of people like when they experience contrast in life, it is kind of like like badly positive, toxic positivity that you look at all the contrast and quote unquote character development for some fucking great American novel that you're writing with your own existence. But when horrible things happen to you, what else can you survive? You can like ball up into the fetal position and rock yourself to sleep and cry every night, or try to make a buck off of it and fly off somewhere for a weekend and pretend like it didn't happen. Um, Kind of like the lyrics to Money in Cabaret by a valet. Okay, so and then your fourth house. So I see that you have like a lot of feelings for a like 25, 26 year old Pisces. It could be like 30, 35, like middle aged Pisces or Cancer, water sign. I think it'd be a Scorpio. Knights, I see Knights and Pages as Pisces. They usually literally aren't ever, but just like to have an easier read for me, I'm like, oh, it's some Pisces. And it's like, if you're a Pisces or a Scorpio or a Cancer and someone's like playing the whole let me guess your sign and they guess within your element, I think they're doing all right. You know what I mean? So yeah, there's a lot of energy around this Pisces, a lot of energy around this Virgo. Feelings towards their mother. They might have some type of connection to your mother. But this also talks about the month of July. So the fourth house, the sign of Cancer, the month of July, we're seeing the Knight of Cups. So I know for me, I mean, every reading is mediumship, and I try to keep them separate, but blah blah blah. I have a Pisces water sign spirit whose favorite holiday is the 4th of July. So I could very well see for my own life the month of July being very much about this water sign Pisces person that I knew. And, elsewhere. So, what's going on in July? Everybody is consumed with this Pisces person. And then in August. So, August, Leo season, it's the house or sign of creativity and ego. And I guess most people would look at the 12th house as the house of obstacles or how we get in our own way. But I do see that Leo is sort of the sign of obstacles and detours and hurdles. And so I see the fifth house, especially because of the other spreads that I do, as the obstacle card. So this is what is going on in the month of August. This is what is going on with the people that have a Leo sun sign in your life. This is impacting your ego and your sex drive. So if I'm doing like a tarot forecast on a person rather than so I'm doing a tarot forecast on the month of July. But if I was doing a tarot forecast on a person like, John Brown or something, and I see like the death card in their fifth house, I'm like, oh, their sex drive is being affected by grief. Good grief, Charlie Brown. And so in this reading, I'm seeing that the obstacle is the Chariot. And so it's like somebody like somebody needs a car. Like the obstacle is somebody needs a car. Somebody's car is broken down. Somebody thinks they can't get around without a car. And this is like something that I say that will be like the death of the bourgeoisie or the death of just like stupid people in general, where some people are immobile, some people are they're differently abled and stuff, but there's some people who are fully able and they think that just because they don't have a car or because they're not white enough or whatever, the car's not nice enough, that they can't get the job that they're looking for. They can't get the girlfriend that they're looking for. They can't get um, the friends that they're looking for. Like their car is the obstacle, right? I was actually thinking about this because I wanted to get some stuff from the dollar store and I haven't seen the dollar store on DoorDash for a while. And I was like, man, you know how just like, oh my God, I probably sound, whatever. I didn't really know about the dollar store for a very long time. Like when someone says dollar store to me, I think of like some dirty old shop that sells cap guns and, fake vomit or whatever. I didn't actually know for the longest time that the dollars, like if you go to Dollar General, like not Dollar General, Dollar Tree or Family Dollar, like it's literally all the dollar in there. And I was like, man, like if I could just like order Uber or DoorDash to the dollar store, like I would spend so much money there. And how cars and what do you call it? Disruptive businesses like Uber uh, have created hurdles maybe for other people, but then have opened doors for other people. Because I know that several years ago when they had Uber Pool and things like that opened up so many doors for me because I was like, well, I can like work across town now. I don't have to like really work in my immediate vicinity. I could literally go across town for like $10. So, but as beautiful and as great as that is, that could literally go away overnight. And then it's like, so there might be a person who doesn't know how to drive, doesn't have their driver license, and then, their phone goes missing, or Uber's gone, or they move to a city where Uber is illegal. Um, and at the same side of that coin, or same side of this card, you could be going to college and you're not able to bring your car with you. You could be moving from the suburbs to the city and your car is just a huge issue because you live in New York now and there's literally nowhere to like every night parking your car is some epic battle to find somewhere to put it and to the point that you go to sleep late and it's messing with your job and your work and all these things. So, I'm also hearing the song lyric from like "Thank You for Being a Friend," which I was listening to earlier by Andrew Gold. that it's like if it is a car you lack, I would gladly buy you a Cadillac, you know? So it's like August, you're going to be feeling like you need a car. There's all these things with the automotive industry. It's a huge burden, huge hurdle. Also, uh, it also represents. Okay, I think I just lost my train of thought again. But originally I was saying like it could be Uber going away. It could be your car being an enormous obstacle. Somebody parking in your parking spot. There's another thing that I saw with this, um, and I'll return to it once it comes back. Okay, so that's the fifth house. It's obstacles. The chariot is there. Um, oh, okay, I remember now. So, like, you might work across town and you're like, if I lost my car, I could not go to work. Or, I mean, you might work half a mile away and you're like, well, I can't go walking there and be all hot and sweaty by the time I get there because it's summertime, you know what I mean? So I guess like plan accordingly for that. But then also it's like you can show up hot and sweaty at work. And this isn't in this reading, but it is in a TikTok reading that I just did that was about like what to let go of before the Cancer new moon on July 5th. Look, who knows the moon cycle again. Where it was saying to like letting go of waiting to act. It's never going to be perfect, and I've been kind of struggling with this myself, so I definitely feel like this would resonate. Because I think about things that I did in the past, like amazing, amazing things that I did in the past, and I didn't have the right, like, I used to work for a mid-level marketing firm and represented over 22 different companies on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And I literally had a broken down laptop where the K and the P keys didn't work. And the Chariot also it's cars, but it's also like a website, a vehicle for people to see you and people to understand you and yeah, yeah, yeah. So not once, I mean a little bit, I guess. Like I was like, I gotta get out of here before this becomes an issue. But for not for a second was I like, I can't do my job or I shouldn't have this job because of these limitations that I'm experiencing. I was like, time to work around them. We're gonna pull up a thesaurus and we're gonna copy and paste or whatever that we have to do. I think also on that laptop I had, like the mouse pad stopped working and I had to use the little ball thing. It was horrible, but pushed through, still did it. I mean, you might be thinking that you want to start some sort of business, especially, you might want to be starting like your own private taxi or courier service because they don't have Uber in your city, and you know that people need it. And you might be thinking like, okay, well, I need a website for that, and you might not. You might just need to send out some like eight of wands, send out some text messages to your friends and old schoolmates and be like, hey, if you need a ride somewhere, I got this van. I can pick you up and drop you off and take you to work if you want, if you need. Um, which I see that you probably do need. And people get DUIs. There's so many reasons why a person would need a ride to work. They get DUIs, the bus route changes, they go on strike, something, whatever. All right, so that's a lot of time we spent in the fifth house, observing obstacles and limitations, or hurdles. I say limitations is probably a little bit more Capricorn. But so now we're gonna move into the sixth house, which is the house of health and service and Virgo, right? Communications, daily actions, daily routines. And I'm seeing the Empress here. So I read this thing on Reddit that really triggered me because somebody was talking smack about Virgos and they were like, "Oh, imagine not liking Virgos and watching your health and work suffer and health, work and finances suffer because of it." And I was like, "Is that my problem? Is that why my finances aren't where I want them to be because I don't like Virgos?" And it might be true because I don't really typically like Virgos, and I always feel like I could have more money. But I'm very relieved to see this Empress card here saying that um, health is good, fertility is good. The thing is too, I also like always boil down the meaning so that I can just like interpret and move on and um, not get my wires crossed. So sometimes I see the Empress, I'm like, oh, pregnancy. It's somebody sitting on a. You're gonna be spending a lot of time sitting on the couch every day. So that could be a person who's losing their job and going into unemployment. That could be a person who is pregnant because you ain't gonna be fucking running a mile, right? I mean, you could be, but you're most likely gonna be spending a lot of time on the couch. But then also it could be somebody who's not feeling particularly well, with stars all over their head, like dazed and confused. So moving on. Well, and also okay, so like also because Virgo is the sign of health and service, I do also see this position as what will help you. So it's not only what you're acknowledging, like taking acknowledgement of your health, acknowledging your how you should probably stop smoking to protect your beautiful voice or your singing voice or the baby that's living inside of you. It's also like what's going to be going on in September. So you may not be experiencing any type of pregnancies or giving birth to any new ideas, but when September runs around, that story might change. Um, cool. And then also like what will help you is this Empress person. So there might be a mother or like a holy mother that actually like physically actually gives you guidance, who is an actual living human being on the planet Earth who helps you out. But if you're concerned about receiving help or somebody nurturing you or finding some type of like somebody to be an apprentice to, mentor, if you're looking for a mentor, it could very much happen around like mentor, life coach could happen around September. Okay. And so the next house is the seventh house, Libra relationships, of course. And but so also in this positioning, I always see this as like outcomes and what you're attracting. So just to dial it back, and the third house of Gemini, I always say this is what you're speaking into existence. So in the third house of Gemini with the Eight of Wands, you could be like, okay, I am going to go on a trip to Montenegro and I'm going to fly there. Oh crap, there's something wrong with my car and this Virgo is pregnant. So, that could be what you're manifesting, manifesting, manifesting. And then I see the seventh house is what turns out. So it's like a coin capsule machine, right? Like you put the 25 cents in and you're like, I want the little Sonic figurine, and then you get a Knuckles and you get a Tails, and it's like you're putting in the right amount of energy and you're doing all your manifestation work correctly, but you're just not getting the particular results that you want. But you never know, like the blue dye that they're using on that Sonic figurine could be like toxic and poisonous, and the universe is trying to protect you by constantly giving you Tails and Knuckles, right? It's the Seven of Wands in the seventh house. So it's probably Knuckles, but Tails is orange too, I guess. And so this is kind of saying like you're sending a lot of messages out. Eight of Wands, and then the Seven of Wands is like there's a lot of people who are trying to attack you. And this kind of goes. I was going to do a separate video, but this kind of goes into like I want to do like a rant about the people I've been reading for on Reddit and how like ungrateful they are and how impatient they are. Which I used to be ungrateful and impatient too, but it's like, dude, like you're about to get a free reading, you're about to talk to a spirit, you're about to talk to a deity, like relax, right? And I know for myself and my own experience, there's been a lot of people like attacking me spiritually and physically and, just talking crap because I guess technically, because I'm a man, I am part of the patriarchy and they're just trying to like attack and hex the patriarchy. And there's a culture on TikTok, I guess, of just like, I don't know, like being rude to people, making stitches or whatever. And there's also a really weird culture between psychics and medium on Reddit where they're just like trying to attack each other and debunk and disprove each other. Because it's like, oh, if I can't get clients, I'm just going to try to attack this other person. And I see that to whomever is listening to this, so like the 12, 11 people or one person who watches these videos over 11 times, you'll have the higher ground in your arguments. So somebody might be trying to critique the way that you're going about life, or how you're going about your business or manifestation or whatever, whatever. And you will have a clap back for literally all six of these people that want to attack you, and you have the higher ground. Yeah. And then, cool. And so this also like, so just to talk about the readings that I do on Reddit again, uh, what I do on Reddit is I do a free general reading of like just what I see, and I use a 7 card spread. So when I do a 7 card spread, I see things like I said, like I see hurdles, I see what will help you, and I see what you're attracting. The signs or the houses, house 8 to 12 or Scorpio through Pisces, those talk about a little bit more far out things. You know what I mean? Like Scorpio talks about occult magic and death. Sagittarius, literally the sign of overseas. So it may not be like the most important information. So I feel like the first 7 houses is like the most like oh my god, what do you call it? Vital information from all that. What's her name? What's her name? This is vital information. Okay. So, if I'm doing one of those Reddit readings and I see that you have the 7 of Wands, like, I'm so in love, like, am I going to find love? And I see this, like, 7 of Wands in your 7th house, and I'm like, maybe not. I think you're going to attract, like, a lot of competitors and a lot of people who are, like, jealous of you. And maybe they're the sign of Sagittarius. Or maybe there's, like, a lot of Sagittariuses who are jealous of you. Which is possible. Like you might be concerned about a Virgo who likes you, but the Sagittarius is like obsessed with you. And they like I don't have time to talk about Sagittarius like this, but you know, they're competitive and they're competitive and they're jealous, and they usually will have like a lot of planets in Capricorn, which Capricorn is like the sign of being like limited, right? So like being lame, like looking like the devil, being ugly, like just all types of stuff. And hearing that might be, and like being ugly doesn't always necessarily being like physically ugly on the outside, even though a lot of them do tend to be. But it also talks about being ugly on the inside and emotional and like being a demon and a curse. Like I've literally heard other astrologers be like being a Capricorn and Aquarius is a curse, and I was like, no, I see that. But and the reason why I talk about him being lame is that he's Hemephatus or Capricorn. He, she, they are Hemephatus. So they're the lame god who's married to beauty, to Venus, but like hates beauty or doesn't like appreciate beauty. And then in the 7th house or the 6th house right here, we have the Empress, who I guess is Venus, or yes, here is Venus or Aphrodite. And yeah, so that's that. And I'm also getting like absurdly itchy. So this Sagittarius might even be a dog. But anyway, so when I do those readings, and you're asking about whatever's going on, and they're like, oh, that doesn't resonate, I'm like, it'll probably make more sense to you in October, because October is the month of the 7th house. I literally don't even know what number month is, because it's called like 8tober. It's so I hate the month, it's so stupid. But it's the 7th house. It's the whatever month. It's the October month, and it's a month of attraction. So like it's like the things that you're manifesting. If you have been feeling like they're not coming quickly enough, or you almost want to give up, don't give up until like November. And then like you're like, okay, I've been manifesting having a swimming pool in my backyard all year. It's October. It's still not here. Maybe I'll just start again when the sun goes into Aries and try again next year. Um, cool. And then so that's that. And then moving into the 8th house. this is the house of sex, death, and taxes and desires. But I just see it as like, what do you want? You know what I mean? So I'm like, if I'm doing a reading and some weirdo texts me and I'm like, what do you want? Like, you know what I mean? And I just look what's going on in the eighth house. And so the eighth house, what you want is the Ten of Pentacles. Um, Ten of Pentacles is a very interesting card. I typically use my tarot deck for manifestation, right? So if there's something that I feel like I'm lacking in my life, I'll place my tarot deck on my altar with the card or the thing that I'm trying to manifest upright. And so 7 years ago, or several years ago, I mean to say, was it 7 years? No, I mean it's been four at least. But several years ago, it could be like six. Several years ago, I I live in Arlington, Virginia. Come and attack me if you want. And there's this area next to the Pentagon called Pentagon City. And like the longest time, I kept putting the Ten of Pentacles on my altar because I was like, yeah, Ten of Pentacles, highest evolution of wealth and abundance and blah blah blah. You know, like it's not just a pet like the Two of Cups. It's like two pets. It's family. It's elders. It's children. It's like having everything that you need. Going to the market, farmers markets, blah blah blah. And a little while that went by from these manifestations, I ended up living in the Pentagon, Pentacle City neighborhood, right across the street from a Whole Foods and by an overpass. Which, if you look at the traditional Rider Waite tarot deck and you look at the Ten of Pentacles, there's like an overpass, there's two dogs, there's like a farmer's market or something going on. And I was like, wow, like I really, really manifested this. So that's what is in your manifestations. It's like, highest evolution of financial independence. And maybe from working at the Pentagon, but it's definitely like, you know, um, being wealthy. And so this being a forecast, and so I know like a lot of mediums, they'll be like, oh, I can't predict the future. I only talk to dead people. And it's like I talked like for me, like I can see into the future or see possible futures, and I can talk to dead people. So I don't know why I'm bringing that up right now, but it is Scorpio, so that might have something to do with Scorpio. Maybe you talk to dead people, both the dead and the living. But then I also see in the terms of the forecast that November will be a better time financially for you. But actually, so I mean, it's July right now. August could be a good time. Someone could bring you the gift of a car. So it's like I have all my cards up right. So it's like you could be getting the gift of a car, or someone could be taking your car away. Something going on with your car. And then September, I see like really good health, fertility, abundance, sitting on the couch. But the thing is, like, abundance may not even feel like abundance because I'm thinking about times where I used to sleep in my living room and on my couch all the time, and it's like I've always had roommates. I have a big family. Most of my life, I didn't even like have my own room. But then I had my own apartment and I lived alone. And being in my own apartment and living alone, I don't know, I found my bedroom to be like kind of creepy, so I would sleep in my living room all the time. And it's like the one time where I didn't have to sleep on a futon or a pull-out couch or a couch or whatever, I'm still opting to sleep on a couch, which does talk a lot about things that are going on in my natal chart and whatever, whatever. But like, it's just so that's the energy that I see. Like, you're spending a lot of time on the couch. So that could be a good thing, where you're just like so fat and lazy and well taken care of that you're like passing out on the couch all the time. That could be a bad thing, where, maybe like it's alcoholism or something, or once again, a good thing with like a child, like I said. But, with maybe your car not working or being employed or not employed or being pregnant or whatever it's going on, you will still have the higher ground in all arguments. So somebody tries to come for your weight or attack you, you're like, I'm having a baby. All you do is sitting around on the couch all day. I'm having a baby, or whatever reason that's bringing you to sit on the couch all day. And you want a bunch of money. So I mean, somebody could be getting like some type of like disability lawsuit. Okay. And then, so moving to the ninth house of higher education and travel, I see that a Gemini could invite you on a trip. There also could be like an invitation to some type of like college, right? Like a lot of colleges are being exposed as like scams and country clubs. I mean, even for the fact that they allow people to attend the school that have falsified documents and false information. Like that woman from Full House or whatever was going on. So I've been receiving this message. Like I think a lot of people are going to get like a second opportunity to be re-educated for whatever reason. And I know that sounds like communist Vietnam, but like there's just like sent to a camp to be re-educated, but like there's just something that we've been taught that's wrong, and or a lot of the things that we've been taught are wrong, and there's needs to be something to rectify that. And I guess this page of it was like looking at things clearly finally, but then also this page of swords seems like some type of like Bill Nye character that like they're gonna be like teaching us whatever it is that we got wrong. Um, it could be like about gender or something. I don't know. This also talks about like how your holidays are going to be. So around the holidays, around the month of December, there's going to be a lot of energy around this Gemini. So in the reading right now, I mean, I've only mentioned mutable signs: Virgo, Pisces, Sagittarius, Gemini. I don't see a card that is like blaring Sagittarius, but I do see cards that are like blaring Virgo, Pisces, and Gemini. I don't even know if I'm using that word blaring correctly, but I just keep blaring Blair, Blair and Claire, clairaudient. Um, and so like you might watch this reading in July, and it may not resonate with you until December. You also might be going to go visit a Gemini who's far away, maybe another country, Africa, North Africa, Egypt, Tunisia, something like that, Jordan, something like that. If it's not, what is that? That's not North Africa. Like, but it's like not. The Middle East isn't like a real place. I get that, but like not like Dubai and Iraq and Iran, but like Jordan and Lebanon and Cyprus and things like more Mediterranean, I guess. Okay. The 10th house, your destiny, your career, right? So when we're looking at finances, we look at the second house, the sixth house, and the 10th house. So this says to me by January, so there's going to be like a lot of abundance in the fall, but by January, you could be like scratching at the mirror. The Eight of Cups is like going through old beer bottles and seeing if there's beer left in them. It's like smoking resin out of your bong. It's like scratching your Coke mirror. It's like it's an addict. It's someone in like a hoodie shuffling around. Sex addiction, drug addiction, screen time addiction, whatever it is, to the point that you kind of like have stopped taking care of yourself so much. Which might be after, you know what I mean? And that's the thing is like we're manifesting weird things in the future. Like you might have watched too much Mission Hill, and or some TV show like Always Sunny in Philadelphia or Trailer Park Boys, where the main character is like, or Johnny Bravo, like the main character is like a loser, and you're trying to manifest being an addict or a loser. You might have dressed up like Amy Winehouse for Halloween one year and are at the beginning of a heroin addiction. Girl, I need to make a whole video on Halloween. Don't sell, like, the crazy thing is, like, I was such a rebel child, like, such a rebel, liberal, child, like for whatever reason. And now the older that I'm getting, I'm like, oh my God, I'm like an evangelical Christian. Like, don't celebrate Halloween. Like, don't let your kids celebrate Halloween without good intentions. Like, I think I ranted about this in another video, but you are supposed to be scary things for Halloween because it's like how you show up in the astral realm all year or something. Because people usually also take pictures on Halloween. You're supposed to be something scary, but you're also supposed to be something like uplifting. Like Spirit has been like, do not dress up like a cat for Halloween. You will be homeless. You will be a stray cat if you dress up like a cat. Um, it was like, do not dress up like celebrities, which I have dressed up like a celebrity before, but I feel like I'm too old for my life to mirror theirs at this point. So I feel like I'm safe. But it's like, don't dress up as celebrities because you don't know what's going on with them. And it's like, always talking about Michael Jackson. So it's like, Michael Jackson may not be the only person in Hollywood who's missing a nose. So like, just don't dress up like nobody where you don't know their tea, because whatever's going on with them might happen to you. So ever since I received that message, I don't dress up for Halloween that much anymore. But this one year, I was a Mogwai Shen because I was like, I gotta be something scary and something that I don't mind being. I've been like a pharaoh, like a king. I'm trying to like remember. Yeah, I was Michael Alec one year. Not the best choice. That's the only time I ever dressed up like a celebrity. But every other year, I was just something vague. Like I was just like, I think like I was like a zebra like 2 or 3 years, and it was like one year was like really good face paint, and one was like really bad face paint. And I was like, I don't know what the hell that was about. But like for a couple of years, I was just like painting my face as like a zebra or like white tiger, and I was like, that's my Halloween costume. I did it, like, cause I wanted it, I guess, to be like ironic. Like I just wanted, like, I'm a kid at a like they got their face painted or whatever. I don't know. When you're in your early 20s, you think everything you do is deep. Okay, but so that's that. Like you might, or it might even be somebody like Snoop Dogg or Jay Z or some pothead or whatever that you think is really cool and you want to emulate and you think it's your destiny to be them. You might have that song Beck, the Loser by Beck on repeat. You might be singing it to yourself all day. Uh, this isn't, I mean, it's not the devil, you know what I mean? So it's not the worst thing, but I guess the Eight of Cups probably does lead you to the devil, which is in his Capricorn positioning. And maybe these people want to be like owned by a Capricorn or humbled or told off or cursed out or whatever it is. But whatever this like absolutely crazy tumultuous energy that you're going through is something that you'll probably experience in the month of January. And the Eight of Cups, like, I mean, so the flash of intuition I just received is that I went on this trip to New York, and I think like when I was coming back, we stopped in some like weird Pelswick town. I watch a lot of cartoons. Pelswick was like the first handicap cartoon, and we're in the House of Capricorn. I've been talking about people being lame and handicapped and rude and mean. Like I have a really biting vocabulary. I have a Mercury and Aries. Everything I say is fighting words. But I stopped in this really weird, like East Coast Pelswick looking town with like, I swear to God, the gas station that we went to was being robbed. There was like homeless people on the street and the medium, like I don't know how the streets are set up in where you're from, but like there's like a median in between the two sides of the street, and at the beginning of it, in the middle of it, and at the end, there's like a person like on like for miles. You know what I mean? Like three people per median for miles or for a mile, like begging for money. So in January, because of this fucking abundance, like I don't know, like the government might give people money or something might happen. They're gonna spend it very quickly, and have like a lot of regrets about it. And I hate that this is like in the Capricorn position. It's like, what is this, like your destiny? But it's the Capricorns in your life. It is what a lot of people will be experiencing in January, and the Eight of Cups is right before the Nine of Cups is right before the Ten of Cups. So it's like if you're addicted to something, it's like this darkest before dawn moment. You're like, oh my God, I need a drink, I need a drink, I need a drink. It's 8 o'clock. I don't get off of work until 8:30, and then or I get off of work at 7, and I gotta go home, blah blah blah, and then by 9 I can go out to the bar and get drunk and have bar food and feel inebriated and call down the spirits of my family, like the Ten of Cups, right? uh, so it's just like Capricorn's gonna be caught in this very desperate energy. A lot of people are gonna be caught in this desperate energy, and it also made I had this like a revelation a couple years ago where I was like, okay, if there is this like Illuminati and this cabal, right, and Justin Bieber, the Pisces, is a huge part of it, right, because he has this like very mass appeal since for almost like 20 years now, where a lot of people like the hip hop industry just like literally ate him up, with like P Diddy's weird sex parties and um, you know, I don't know, like it's like you're not allowed to say these things, but it's like if I looked like as a Pisces, if I looked like Justin Bieber and had access to all these people, like best believe, especially with like all these like rappers and stuff, maybe not P Diddy, but I would have no shame in being a pass around party bottom, like girl, live your life. But there are all these people in Hollywood that are like closet cases, and this could be like completely unsubstantiated. It could be a rumor and it could be a lie, but I saw this like post somewhere about how Raven Simone was talking about her relationship with Whoopi Goldberg. And I was like, I don't know if this is true or not, but I could definitely see this being true because A, she's a Scorpio, they live double lives. Scorpio, Libra, Sagittarius, live double lives. And then just like being in Hollywood, where it's like, okay, I'm pretty sure there's a confusion. Like, I'm pretty sure Whoopi Goldberg is a lesbian. I'm pretty sure her and Ted Danson weren't an actual thing. And I don't, whatever. Say that's rude, I guess. And like, does that even sound right? She doesn't even have eyebrows. Like, it's like weird. Um, it's like it's gay. You know what I mean? It's like super gay to not have eyebrows. Super queer. And Raven Simone is a younger female light skinned child actor. So it's like her relationship with her may not even been born out of love or affection, but it could have been born out of sabotage, as she is a Scorpio saboteur. You know what I mean? So like give this girl a bunch of gender and sexual dysphoria until she's in a depression and leaves the industry. Which I know a lot of gay people do. So like that's the thing too, because there's all this like stuff about gays and like love is love. It's like I don't know, men are still gay and men don't love anybody. So I don't know what's going on between lesbians, and I don't understand what's going on between like trans people. Trans people are actually really funny because I know a lot of trans people who end up like being straight, quote unquote, where it's like they transition into being a woman, or they start to present as feminine or wearing skirts, whatever. Like I'm not talking about, I know like you don't have to have any type of operation to be trans, but they just start wearing skirts, and then they find a woman who really likes wearing pants, and then they like get along. Which I don't know. I don't like. I mean, I guess it's like a beautiful thing because they can have babies. It's not like a quality statement or anything. Because I think it'd be just as beautiful if like a man transitioned and then their best friend transitioned and then they became lesbians together. Because I feel like that's love. But most of the time, I guess I am talking about lesbians between like Whoopi Goldberg and Raven Simone. But most of the time, I've noticed with men is that they're actually just jealous of each other, and it isn't typically love. It usually is like body dysphoria or like wanting to live vicariously through a partner. I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say about Raven Simone. Like Raven Simone and Whoopi Goldberg, like even like I love Raven Simone so much for even like saying that she's not black and like all these things, that she's just an American. It's like, so why can't I claim being an American because I'm not blonde hair and blue eyes, and like that's such a face crack to everybody. And then Whoopi Goldberg, I think, was talking about it the most on The View. I don't know. I don't remember. We can't even pretend to like care about celebrities, but I just feel like there's like a huge energy there. I don't know her sign. She could be a Gemini, and I just feel like there's a huge energy there, and there's like a huge story there, and I've been feeling a lot of energy around Scorpios, like Drake. I don't know necessarily P. Diddy, but I have been feeling a lot of energy around like RuPaul, um, but just Scorpio in general. Uh, and I know that Whoopi Goldberg is a Scorpio. Okay. So enough about celebrities. This isn't e-news. And okay, so the 11th house. So thank you guys for hanging in there, for hearing me gargle and chew my food for 55 minutes. We're in the 11th house now. And we're going to dial it back to talk about the third house and the seventh house. So, like I said, about the third house is that it is the house of what you're speaking to existence. The seventh house is what is actually manifesting and you're bringing into your life. And the 11th house is your vibration. So if I see in your seventh house that you're attracting the 10 of cups or the 10 of pentacles, like something really good and auspicious that you like, um, and I see the 10 of swords in your third house, and the 8 of cups in your 11th house. So it's like your vibration is that of a junkie whore drug addict, and you are cursing everybody and you're cursing yourself, you're cursing your family, you're cursing everybody, but you're still attracting what you're looking for. That's fine. But in like this reading where I see the 8 of wands in the third house, 7 of wands in the seventh house, and 4 of cups in the 11th house, this is saying to me that if you want to manifest something better or a better outcome for the month of July than you having to attack a bunch of people trying to debunk you, or people just gossiping and spreading lies about you. You have to stop ignoring the signs from the universe, or stop ignoring signs from the universe. Stop ignoring your feelings and emotions. Stop ignoring your friends. Stop ignoring your friends' feelings and emotions. And also pay attention to the signs that God is giving you. I also see the Four of Cups as being like Bruce Lee and Kung Fu flicks for some reason. So, maybe you watch, was it Jackie Chan and the Drunken Master, and you're trying to manifest being like some type of drunken master or drunken marketer or whatever it is that you're doing with this Eight of Cups stuff. So basically, if you want to experience anything that is a higher vibration than the 7 of wands, then you need to tap into a higher vibration of emotional energy being depicted by these cups. Cups, it's coffee, it's tea, there are things that you drink cups out, things you drink out of cups. But most of the time, I just see it as alcohol. Like, I don't really drink that much, so I try to like not see it that way. And I don't smoke cigarettes, so I'm always like, oh, this must be like incense or candles or something like that. But it's usually not. It's usually just alcohol and cigarettes, or vaporizers or whatever you want to call them. And so it's like stop drinking so much or drink less, and you will. It's like stop drinking so much, drink less. Stop telling so many people that you love them. I don't know. Like anytime someone's like, "Oh, my love," or whatever, darling, I'm like, you are literally so fucking fake. I want to punch you. You hate me. Why are you calling me your love? You don't. You say that to everybody. Like just like the Uber Eats thing. I was like, you don't love me, Valentina. You don't love me, Uber Eats. Like you're saying the word so much that it's losing its magic. You know what I mean? And that I think I talked about that in my previous video, where it's like things just lose their magic after a while. Like affirmations, I don't think they lose their magic, but they might lose their magic for you, right? Just like how a song can go from being your favorite song to like, oh, that used to be my favorite song. And in particular, I was thinking about Kanye West and the Power song. I was like, that man, those like Freaky Friday videos that he was releasing, or Good Friday videos he was releasing. That was like some really amazing. That was a really amazing time in hip hop and art and music, and it was like a festival, a music festival that was happening inside your home. It was really great. But now when I listen to that song Power, it does it like literally if I was like president or running for president, that would be my theme song, you know? But it really like the bass line and everything just like totally lost its magic for me for whatever reason. Okay. So now we're entering the 12th house. Thank you guys. Thank you deep divers. You definitely have to be a Pisces to still be here to enter the 12th house of Pisces with us, and that is the 6 of Pentacles. So not to rip Pisces off, but I am getting tired, so here we are. But this is the thing too. So the 6 of Pentacles, it's like that. How are you sabotaging yourself? You might be asking money from people who don't have any money, especially when it comes to like having a business, you know. So you might have a coffee shop or a juice bar, and you're like, I want to market towards college kids. Like I want my, you might live in a college town, you know. You're like, I want my business to be like really popular amongst college kids, and it's like, well, college kids do not have disposable income. They're actually racking up a bunch of quote unquote good debt right now. You might want your business to cater and market towards single mothers. And it's like, well, they are in a tough position and they're raising their child. Um, and what I'm about to say is like completely homophobic, but eek, they scare me. I'm a gay myself, the only gay in my village. But so also, like, for me, I was like, well, I'm going to be like the gay tarot reader, but a lot of gays, like, aren't occultist, and there's like a whole myth behind this like gay disposable income myth, and I'm like, whatever disposable income they have, they spend it on cocaine and enemas, so they're definitely not spending on tarot readings or bars of soap or whatever that you're trying to shill. Uh, and just to also, so this email that I got from Uber Eats, this was like around the pandemic, but they do still email you every day. And I've been playing The Sims, and they've been like super aggressive about selling the expansion packs. Like they have little pop up windows when you first upload the game, which they didn't have before, and the little like portal that you use to browse EA and whatever. They've like made it smaller so that so when you first open it, you have to look at the shop, and they start suggesting things to you, and you kind of have to click around to get to the game. And like Candy Crush on my phone, as soon as I open my phone, like the Candy Crush app opens immediately. I get a bunch of like fake notifications from different apps just for me to look at them. And so the 6 of Pentacles, okay, you could be asking, like I said, you could be asking money from people who don't have money, or it's like you have like secretly you have like this energy of a beggar, or like you're secretly a beggar, or secretly begging. Secretly begging. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Or you just like kind of seem like you're begging. Or, um, so like I said, with the 5th house being hurdles, like, things you have to jump over that are unavoidable in your path, the 12th house is kind of like self sabotage and how you get in your own way. So, it could be like something in your vocabulary where you're like apologizing all the time, like how I do with these videos where I'm just like, oh, I'm sorry, my microphone and my fan is going, blah, 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 I'm sorry. And it's like, I should be, or Pisces should be, or you should be more like, F you, I need my fan, I'm hot. I'm not hot anymore, but I was. It's the 4th of July. And, confirmation that I'm super annoyed. But okay, so that's the 12th. That's the 12th house. So it's like, how are you getting in your own way? You're asking money from people who don't have money, or you're sort of like coming off as a beggar or something like that. You know what I mean? Or begging for an opportunity from some Virgo or something, some Virgo Capricorn, Virgo. Yeah, so just like change your vocab, change your self talk, and so like to dial it back, like it's like I really feel like you could examine any house in this reading and get the advice that you need. Like you really could have just listened to the second house of saying affirmations and aromatherapy around your finances, because I literally do feel like, especially by the time I get to the 12th house, I literally just feel like I've just been repeating myself. So that's why in the Reddit readings, when I do like free readings, I just go up to the seventh house, or I just do a 7 card spread. And I have been thinking and experimenting with doing like so here I am, my 6 of Pentacles begging, or I think of it as just advertising. Um, so one of the most financially lucrative times I experienced doing tarot readings was like 2018, 2019, where my readings were like $8.88. And you could get one of these readings around the full moon or new moon. And I had quite a bit of cake from doing that. So I am going to be selling general channeled messages. Maybe they can be specific or something like that for 888, and I'm gonna see how that goes around the full and new moon. But so what I see from this reading is that, like, like I said, despite anything lowering your vibration, I do see the 10 of Cups. So someone, like I said, someone could, you could be watching. Like, I had this one lady. I was doing a reading for her, and she's like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna grab a glass of champagne," and I'm like, "Okay, like I get it. You're pretending to be rich." Um, like super cute. But I was like, I don't think you necessarily want to be drunk during a tarot reading or astrological reading, because you're gonna forget. And I guess arguably you could say the same thing about somebody smoking weed or something, but um, hopefully they don't. Hopefully they take notes. Was like the whole concept is like you're gonna be inebriated. You're not. And then this also might be explanation to like why people are so weird and angry and jealous on Reddit, is because they're alcoholics and they're not accomplishing their goals. And I know for a fact that a lot of people who get tarot readings, all they want to hear is that they're psychic, and they want like that confirmation. And especially in mediumship, they want to hear like, "Oh, you're a medium too," and it's like, well, not really, because if you were, you would be having a practice and you'd be doing it. You're kind of like an unfulfilled medium who's too afraid to go out and do the thing, you know? And so I was actually thinking about this earlier. I was actually telling somebody about this, about the concept of dharma. And I could be completely wrong. This could be like a complete bastardization of my understanding of the Vedas. But from what I gathered, from the very small amount of time that I was reading, like, the Mahabharata and whatever was going on, uh, what I gathered is that, so, and it's kind of like the time old tale of religion versus war, right? Where every religion pretty much preaches that like murder is wrong, like that, like killing somebody is wrong. And I believe that's the debate that Arjuna and Krishna are having in the Mahabharata or in the Vedas, whatever, where Arjuna is saying that, I would rather eat the food of a beggar than to eat food tasting of my brother's blood, because the insert last name, I can think of the name of the families, but I just don't want to butcher them. He's like, these people that we're fighting, they are our family, they are our cousins, I don't want to fight them. And Krishna is like, this is your dharma, you are a warrior. If you do not fight them, they will fight you and they will kill you. And this is samsara. They are aware that it is samsara, so they do not care. They know that they will return. And I think that it's difficult, because you could get a tarot reading and know that you're going to pass, or know that somebody's going to pass. And it takes the sting out a little bit, like a very little bit, but it does not fully absorb the entire blow. It's sort of like a bulletproof vest, I would say, um, for the emotional blow of experiencing grief. And yeah. So that's dharma. It's like something you don't want to do, but you have to do it. And I feel like a lot of people, when they're not accepting their dharma or their calling in life, right? So you can look at it as like the Vedas, or you can look at it as being in Cab Calloway's band. When Cab Calloway says Heidi Heidi hi, you say Heidi Heidi ho, and if you don't do your play your part, he'll take you out back and shoot you. Um, because he was like, I'm going to kill you, and I'm going to replace you with a different trumpet player, because you're disrespectful, and you won't play your part. So Cab Calloway, a different character. His spirit has been coming through to me so hard about how violent and crazy he is and was. And then I actually saw a video. I've been thinking about this a lot because I'm a little bit violent and crazy, and I'm like, maybe I should become a band conductor, get a lot of stress and anger and energy out. But that's basically what Krishna is saying. That's basically what Cab Calloway is saying. He's like, if you don't play your part, I will replace you, or you will have to be replaced because the warring families will come and get you. You know what I mean? So it's like if I'm Cab Calloway and, somebody else is coming in with the band and their trumpet players are playing on time and they're following their cues and mine aren't, we're all going to go away. So Krishna is basically like, you have to play your part. Okay? You have to play your part, you have to play your instrument. And in the mediumship reading I was doing where I was like backdoor bragging about how like Amy Winehouse's spirit was talking to me, she's been like reading me for filth. Like she's a Virgo. She probably should have been a tarot reader or a psychic in her life and not a singer. Cause she like stuck to an aesthetic like nobody's business. But and then everybody tried to copy her, like light copy her aesthetic, like Christina Aguilera and Lily Allen, and that's why they all wanted her to die so much because they were so fucking jealous of her because they can't stick to anything and they have no faith and no loyalty. But and they're inauthentic. And she was saying to me, because I like to sing along to a lot of songs, and she was like, if you don't know the words and you can't sing it well, it's not your part to sing. It's somebody else's part. You're playing someone else's part. And she said that, and she said, don't compete with the computer. Most of these songs are computer. If you compete with the computer, it will drive you mad. It's what happened to her because you hear these voices and you hear these people singing and you hear people making songs and music at such a rate and at such a pace. You're like, how the hell could I ever keep up? But you croak and you realize, oh, it was the computer the entire time. I've been trying to compete with AI, you know? So just in life, I think I said this in the other video, but like just in life, if you can't sing the part right, if you don't know the words, if you don't know the lyrics, it's not your part to sing. And you can come in 4 bars after the chorus and sing 1 or 2 words and totally blow everybody away. So that's her message. That's her message, and that's Krishna's message. I think it's a really good place to start or to stop because I'm a little bit tired now. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for participating in readings with me. Thank you so much for all the jerks on Reddit to fuel me with the anger, to give me the energy to make this video. And see you in my next video. Bye.